Welcome to Newosphere. My name's Gordon Burke, and today I'm spending the day with Tom Zettler and Natasha Zavella from Shine On Camera, and we really have a great opportunity to talk to Tom because Tom's the co-founder of Shine On Camera, and he's the gentleman that you see behind the scenes. But today he's agreed to come out from behind the camera and join me in an interview in front of the camera. And Tom's got some fantastic messages for us in Newosphere about joining the dots in your life, about seeing personal development as key to getting personal success, and also in terms of, you know, finding your true purpose in life and helping others through serving others. So Tom, welcome to Newosphere.
Thank you very much, Gordon. Thanks for being here. I really enjoy being here, and I just want to say I love what you stand for, and I love the project that you're building and the community that you're growing. I think it's so important and necessary. So happy to be here.
Well, thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
So, tell me about joining the dots. A history in the mining industry, growing up with issues with self-esteem.
It's interesting. I had, as you said earlier, in looking backwards, you can join the dots and things start to make sense when you piece it back together. And I think so many people avoid looking at their past because it can be quite painful depending on your background, and it takes courage to look at it, and I'm glad I did because I found the reasons why I'm here. I found who I am in the process, and it takes courage to do that.
Yeah.
And I'll share a little bit about that without going into too much of a life story.
That's great.
But in simple terms, I have a twin brother, and and that's my only sibling. So I grew up in South Africa, German parents, and he was just better at me than at everything. You know, academics, sport, you name it. I mean, this little bugger beat me at everything, right? And it became quite over time quite painful to actually lose all the time. I mean, I still won occasionally, but he was physically stronger. He was a little bit smarter than me academically. And it became quite painful. And then my peers at school would actually make fun of that. Oh, you're the dumb twin. You're the twin that what happened to you? Your brother's in the first team of athletics and swimming and everything else, and you're hopeless. And that really hit me hard. And so I developed a strategy around that, as any person would. And my strategy to stay safe was not to compete.
Yeah.
Because if I don't compete, I can't lose.
Yeah.
And that might resonate with a lot of people out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I don't have to take a risk, and if I don't have to try and succeed, then no one can laugh at me or make fun of me if I fail.
Yeah.
So I had this whole fear of failure, which was more about the fear of losing.
Yeah.
So I did everything, any sport that was non-team orientated where there was a scoreboard. Surfing, windsurfing, skateboarding, just anything where I could just express myself and be myself and no one was measuring my performance.
Yeah.
But you still get, you can't hide the scoreboard. You're in school, you got grades, you're at sports day, and it was pretty tough.
Yeah.
And I internalized that as there must be something wrong with me, as any person kind of does in that situation where typical childhood psychology, if you're not succeeding, you go, I must be flawed. And I was really frustrated at the time because no matter how hard I tried to run, like athletics or swim, I just still lost. And when you try your hardest and still fail, you just go, well, there must be something wrong with me. Yeah. I'm missing something, I'm not good enough. And that can really internalize, and that can play out in your entire life. Yeah. It affects everything. It affects your finances, your relationships, your career, your family, your friends. It's very dangerous. And I now have learnt through some of John's work and many other great mentors that these negative experiences really shape you and can be used to transform your life and actually give you meaning to your life.
The fuel for your future.
Yeah, so I'll try and sort of step through that as quickly as I can.
No, that's good. No, that's great.
Is what I discovered was that at the time, I remember I was like going, I can't do anything well. What am I good at? I remember asking myself that question. And one thing I've learned, and I want to share with anyone who struggles with confidence and low self-esteem, is that you have no idea how valuable that gift is. And I'll explain what I mean. You're going, what? How can low self-confidence and low self-worth be an asset? Here's what it does. If you don't have that confidence, you have to develop alternative strategies, right? So it's almost like you're having to overcompensate a certain skill set to actually get by not having a skill set, right? Yep. So you have to overdevelop a part of yourself in order to compensate for a part of you that's missing. Well, it's actually not actually missing. It's not actually just yet developed. Yep. And to explain it in terms of archetypes, you've got the warrior, the lover, the magician, and the king or the queen. And if your warrior is missing, and this is some of what we teach in our programs, we really go to the deep to unlock your confidence, because everyone's terrified of the camera. Most people are, 95% of people are terrified of putting themselves out there. And what we find is we've found this magic formula where we go, look, we know what's missing in you and we'll give that back to you in a certain way. But in simple terms, if you don't have the confidence, you are missing your warrior, right? That person is absent. That part of you just isn't turned on. So what happens is you have to overdevelop another part of you to stay safe. Right? So if you come into conflict or confrontation, you have to learn to talk your way out of it. Not only that, you develop the emotional intelligence to detect danger extremely early so that you can stay safe, right? So your senses, your reading of emotions, your reading of body language, your reading of a group environment, a situation, they get ramped up like 500% more than someone who's confident and doesn't have to worry and is not fearful. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does.
So what you develop having low self-confidence is an extremely high emotional intelligence. Now, is that valuable?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And you don't know how valuable it is, especially when you get into leadership, right? If you want to lead people and you want to influence people to change or actually achieve a great project, you better have high emotional intelligence, because if you want to influence a team of people, you've got to tap into your emotional intelligence. You've got to read them, you've got to influence them. And what I didn't realize, I look back now going, that was the biggest gift, is to not have high self-confidence. Because my emotional intelligence was overdeveloped. And then years later, when I actually reclaimed my confidence, and then I had this amazingly strong emotional intelligence, it actually helped me become 20 years in the mining industry as an international project manager. And by applying those techniques, I was able to pretty much increase my income as an employee back then tenfold by applying those techniques, by going, I'll use my emotional intelligence, but now I need to reclaim my confidence, which we've got tools and strategies on how to do. And I just want to share with you is that if you're feeling like you wish you had more confidence, you don't know how valuable your emotional intelligence is. You actually have a treasure right there. And all you need to do is now bring in more of the confidence techniques, and you can truly become unstoppable.
Thanks so much for taking the time to share with us.
You're most welcome, Gordon. It's been a blast. Thank you very much. And keep doing what you're doing. It's great work, and happy to be part of it.
I'm really grateful for you to be watching this video, and with gratitude, it's Gordon Burke.